want to talk to you about life. It is just so difficult to be alive, isn't it? And try to function. There are too many people to deal with. You know, I tried to buy a can of tuna fish the other day at the supermarket, and there was this person standing right in front of where I needed to be to grab the tuna fish, right? So I patiently waited for them to move, and they didn't. And they were looking at the tuna fish for a really long while, like reading each ingredient on each can like it was a book. A really boring book, if you ask me, but nobody has. So I waited a while for them to move, and they didn't, and I couldn't get to the tuna cans. So I thought about asking them to move, but then they seemed stupid for not sensing that I needed to get behind them in the first place. And then I had this fear that if I asked them to move, it would do no good, because they would yell at me and say something like, "Well, move when we're ready to move, you nagging bitch!" And then what would I do? So then I started to cry out of frustration, but very quietly, because I didn't want to disturb anyone. But even softly crying, this dumbass couldn't sense that I needed to get past him. So I reached over with my fist and I dropped it on his head and I screamed, "Would you kindly move, asshole?" Kindly. And then he fell to the ground and acted surprised. And then this child started crying, and I was still already crying. And then I didn't even want the fucking tuna cans anymore. So I left the supermarket. And I thought to myself, I'm gonna get myself a taxi, and I'm gonna go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, because I need to be surrounded by culture right now, not tuna fish.